Hi, my name is Erin Patterson, and for my trends analysis report, I will be discussing 3 different trends. The first one being personalized education, next, digital learning and technology, and last, recruiting, retaining great teachers. Let's start with personalized education. High-stakes tests connected to standards stop the education system in its tracks and limit curriculum to those things that are easily tested. This is a disservice to students who have interests that go beyond what is taught or measured. More schools and students are being declared failures because they haven't met the standards on high-stakes tests. Teachers have been accused of teaching to the test, and parents worry that their children aren't getting the education that they need to prepare them for the future. This is causing an increased demand for personalized education for students. Personalization isn't a new concept. We've had many approaches in place for years, such as smaller class sizes, alternative schools, charter schools, tutoring, advanced placement programs, IEPs, teaching to different learning styles, etc. Schools' climate also plays a factor in personalization, which the 10 essential factors being a supportive, stimulating environment, student-centered philosophy, positive expectations, feedback, rewards, a sense of family, closeness to parents and community, communication, achievement, and trust. There is a growing concern that schools are using a one-size-fits-all approach, when each student is a unique individual and should be treated as such. Different programs have tried to focus on this need for a more personalized education. Gardner's theory of multiple intelligences believes that each of us has some mix of 7 or more intelligences, and teachers should teach all 7 so that all students can learn. Smaller class size is another theory, as well as giving equal emphasis on the arts and foreign languages into schools and providing after-school assistance to students who might not get any at home. Standards and high-stakes tests create a large amount of pressure on kids, create more homework, and limit learning. In our world, any standard and any testing program must be flexible. Future jobs need creative, imaginative people, not just those who test well. The standards need to be constantly addressed to see if they are teaching the skills and concepts that students need to succeed in the world today. Everyone's interests, talents, and abilities should be considered instead of who scored highest or lowest on the test. Students are not well educated if they are only taught the narrow scope of topics covered on the high-stakes tests. Schools need to balance out education programs with the interests and abilities of students and the needs of society. Tests should show teachers what a student has learned and what they still need to learn. Performance-based testing is the way to do this. I think the challenge PA Cyber faces when it comes to personalized education is with the self-paced courses for 5th through 12th grade. The assignments, tests, and quizzes are predetermined. There is no room for the teacher to say, these students aren't getting this concept, I'm going to present it in a different way so that they have a better understanding. That is assumed to be the parent's responsibility since they are the primary facilitator, and it's stressed to parents at admission events that they are to be there all day to support and monitor their children's education, especially in the self-paced curriculum. Unfortunately, that does not always happen, particularly with high school students. And that could either be because their parents are at work, or they don't understand the material themselves, or they don't know or even make an effort to know how to log on and check their child's progress. Most of the test quizzes and the assignments are multiple choice format in the self-paced courses, and there are a few opportunities for teacher feedback. The curriculum developers have made some changes to the courses this year and have incorporated connections component. These require students to use their higher level thinking skills such as analyzing, exploring, and deductive reasoning. They have also added interactive videos. I think these additions are helping to personalize the self-paced courses. I think more teacher feedback and more variety in the types of assignments that are due would also help. In the virtual classroom, I think there are a lot of opportunities to personalize education. Some teachers have such a great rapport with their students that the students love to go to class and they participate and they're really engaged. Other teachers need more work though. It goes along with each teacher's personality and teaching style. I noticed almost all of the teachers this year had the students complete an interest inventory, or in English, write a personal narrative. That's always a great way to get to know the students at the beginning of the year. Teachers just need to make sure that they are using the information about each student to make personalized comments, have conversations, and even allow some of the assignments to reflect each student's interests, talents, or ideas. Teachers often have students break up into smaller groups to work on activities. They have office hours, tutoring times, and provide a lot of feedback. I would like to see a move to more performance-based testing for our classes. This takes more time on the teacher's part, but I think it's a more accurate representation of what a student has learned, and I think they retain the information longer than if it's just something that they look up in the book and find the answer to. I would also like to see the students offered more choices in the types of assignments that they can do. For example, letting students choose what they want to read from 3 or 4 different novels, and then at the end telling the students they can do a paper or a podcast or a video to discuss the main conflicts in the story, or do a character analysis, or address how the novel related to our current society. It could be any mix of things. It's really open, but it's allowing students to make choices, and it's also making it student-centered. It allows for students' personalities and creativity to shine through, and it engages the students in the learning process. In all cases, self-paced or virtual, if a student has an IEP, the teachers have to make the necessary changes to meet their accommodations. This could mean shortening writing assignments, answering every other question on long tests, redoing an assignment, test, or quiz that they score 60% or less on, 2-week extension to submit work, etc. In special education, we also offer skill-based tutoring, homework help, and we can recommend supplemental programs that help with reading and/or math if we think it'll help. All regular education ISs and special education instructional supervisors call home at least every other week to talk to parents and students, if not more. We also respond to emails and send emails frequently with families to answer questions or to keep them informed about events, student progress, upcoming assignments, etc. Okay, next we're going to talk about digital learning and technology. Technology has set the pace for changing and has given people access to a wealth of knowledge. Schools have struggled to keep up with these changes for many reasons. Many of the older teachers aren't familiar with the uses of technology, opposed to the newer generations who have been exposed to technology their entire lives. The cost of technology is also expensive and it's quickly outdated. One of the biggest ways that technology has changed education is through its delivery method. Smaller schools and those with limited financial resources can link up with other schools with the proper technology to participate in classes that they might otherwise not have been able to. There has also been a growth of online public schools, PA Cyber being one of them. The number of students attending physical classrooms will continue to decline over the years. Many students that were previously being homeschooled have now opted for an online education. Recently, the theme among schools has been e-learning, a blended model that combines the best of the traditional public schools as well as the online schools. It's face-to-face instruction with e-learning. Some states require students to take at least 2 courses for graduation. This year, PA Cyber has started programs similar to this called Clicks and Bricks and Building Blocks. There are several different locations throughout the state. The Clicks and Bricks is kind of like a study hall where students can work on their assignments and ask questions if they need to. The Building Blocks program is for younger students to go to. It's a supplement to their PA Cyber curriculum. They offer learn by doing sessions that get children excited about art, music, math, reading, and other subjects. Blended delivery is different in that students spend time away from home in a traditional bricks and mortar setting. Also, students get the online delivery of instruction while having some control over the setting and pacing. Society has also been immersed into technology, which means schools and districts must create sites that guide and direct the entire community towards a variety of resources. Email has become so prevalent that teachers will need to respond to parents' questions in a timely fashion. Web 2.0 tools allow for increased interaction between the teacher and the students, even after school hours. Technology has changed the way students learn and what they learn, as well as how we communicate. The threat that PA Cyber faces with digital learning technology is the competition. However, right now PA Cyber is on top of the game. Dr. T is innovative and always seems to pick up on the next biggest trend before anyone else. This kind of thinking has eliminated the competition thus far, but the increasing number of cyber schools are always going to pose a threat. There would be something wrong if they didn't. PA Cyber continues to evolve and the technology continues to improve. This year we have an iPad pilot. 100 students from each department were nominated to take part in the pilot. They each got an iPad and a netbook. Their feedback will guide our next steps. Another change this year is the increased use of webcams to personalize the virtual classroom, tutoring, and one-on-one communication with students. Not all virtual teachers are using the webcams, but many of them are beginning to. The students have given positive feedback in the classes where the teachers are using them. Due to issues of privacy, the students' internal webcams are not turned on, so they can't see each other. Many students have said that they feel more comfortable and more engaged in the class when they can see the teacher. PA Cyber also has had all employees install Polycom CMA software to allow for face-to-face communication within the organization as well as with students. The goal is to have this software installed on students' computers also so that we can have more opportunities for face-to-face interaction with our students. This is something that PA Cyber hasn't done yet, so the level of success is to be determined. Self-paced classes for the young students include an interactive video every day. They have podcast, games, and other engaging activities. The self-paced classes for the older students have podcasts that read the lesson, have videos, and have links. I've also seen a slight increase in the use of Web 2.0 tools by teachers. Many of them have shared their digital stories with their classes, and some have used a slidecast or a podcast. However, I haven't noticed many of the teachers incorporating the Web 2.0 tools into assignments. I know a lot of teachers have students do PowerPoints and share them with the class, but I haven't seen any assignments for students to do blogs, podcasts, etc. This could be due to the lack of technical skills and knowledge on the students' part and lack of time to teach those skills during class. I would recommend that teachers at least give these types of assignments as options for students. I particularly think that these types of assignments could be great choices for English for students who struggle with getting their words onto paper. I would like to propose that next August we have 2 to 3 days of online workshops to teach all students how to use these tools so that they can use them during their classes beginning the 2012-2013 school year. Okay, last, recruiting and retaining great teachers. We are going to be in even greater demand for teachers as the push for smaller classroom size continues. Positions such as math and science will continue to be hard to staff areas, as will special education, English as a second language, and teachers of foreign languages. Therefore, there is an increasingly competitive market for teachers as well as a rising focus on retaining teachers who do enter the profession. Some of the ways teachers are being recruited are accepting alternate licensures, flexibility in compensation, and recruitment and training of existing staff. Also, as schools compete with each other to recruit teachers of Generation Y, they can update their website to provide information about the school district and about salary and benefits. Candidates should also be able to apply online and ask questions electronically. Schools should also consider using social network tools for recruitment such as Facebook and Twitter. When it comes to recruitment and retaining of PA Cyber's teachers, PA Cyber has many strategies in place. They advertise through TV, radio, newspapers, magazines, and the internet to not only recruit students but also teachers. Any teacher that is curious about what PA Cyber is about or what types of jobs they have to offer can go online to www.pacyber.org. and they are available to upload their resume, certifications, and cover letter. This year is the first year that we were asked by Slippery Rock University to begin a program that allows their students interested in teaching online to shadow our teachers. We have 5 interested in the area of special education. This is a great opportunity for these college students and for PA Cyber because it will give them the experience and training that many carry over into a full-time position. When it comes to foreign language teachers, our Italian class is taught by a teacher who lives in Italy, and some of our Spanish classes are taught by a teacher who lives in Las Vegas. So, if teachers from Pennsylvania can't be recruited for these hard-to-fill positions, being an online school, PA Cyber has the option to open its recruitment to other states and other countries. Very rarely done, and rarely needs to be done, but is still an option. The strategy that I think PA Cyber uses for retaining teachers is the work environment. All teachers are part of a team of 8 or 9 other teachers, with a team captain and an academy leader. This gives you the hierarchy for directing your questions and concerns. There are also many opportunities throughout the year for team building and collaboration, which boosts morale and improves working conditions. In special education, we've recently moved around the teams to allow teachers to work in the area of focus that they have experience or interest in. Each team now specializes in one of the following areas: life skills, autism, elementary, transition, and emotional disturbance. Some other ways that PA Cyber retains teachers are through programs such as this master's program with Franciscan University, opportunities to attend trainings and workshops, and providing free healthcare. With that being said, PA Cyber does face some issues with recruiting and retaining teachers. Many teachers, especially older ones, are skeptical of cyber schools. Their opinions could lead to negative perceptions of the school and as a result turn away prospective teachers. Another issue is the pay scale. The first year is a good base salary and the second year is a big jump up. However, after that, it isn't a significant increase, and then it caps off much lower than other school districts. Another problem area in retaining teachers is our teacher-to-student ratio in special education. We've enrolled around 500 special education students this year alone and are continuing to enroll. We lost 6 special education teachers this year due to termination, leaving for another school, or moving to a different department at PA Cyber. We hired 10 new teachers. Our roles as special education teachers and instructional supervisors are continuing to grow, making it hard to fit in all of the demands of the job into one day or even one week. One of the problems with recruiting in special education right now is that the only special education staff is in Midland. This is due to all of the paperwork that needs to be filed and stored in one place and to create consistency among the special education department. In terms of recruiting, I think the concept of online education is becoming more popular, and this type of job is one that Generation Y would excel at because they're also already familiar with technology and they could incorporate their 21st century knowledge into the classroom. However, I know many do not because colleges aren't teaching those concepts. So that's a change that the colleges should be making with their curriculums. We've even had some students who graduated from PA Cyber get their teaching degree and come back to PA Cyber to teach. PA Cyber is starting a STEM program, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. I think they should advertise this program more online and in print to make teachers in these areas aware of the opportunities that will be coming available when these courses are completed and being offered to students. These are the areas that are harder to fill, so they will need to be proactive in their recruitment strategies. I also think PA Cyber should work more with colleges in the area to set up shadowing and student teaching opportunities. This will help train, prepare, and gain interest of potential future PA Cyber teachers. Even with the advertisements and word of mouth that teachers hear about PA Cyber now, it's hard to envision the role of an online teacher until you see it in person. Another recommendation would be to attend job fairs. Recruiters could bring their laptops and demonstrate the role of a virtual teacher and an instructional supervisor. Another strategy for recruiting more people in special education would be to divide the special education students in the state into 3 parts so there could be job opportunities for special education staff on the other parts of the state in our Harrisburg and Philly satellite offices. If we move to having all electronic documents, we'll be able to store all the documents, all the students' work in one area. With the new technology of the cloud, this information could be shared between multiple sites. This would also allow for special education families on the eastern side of the state, central, and western part to have a closer local facility to go to for IEP meetings, testing, related services, etc. Also, with the use of the Polycom system, we could still have special education staff trainings and meetings together. Recommendations for retention would include rethinking the pay scale. I know this is a hard time with budget cuts. Honestly, I'm happy to have a job right now, so I'm not complaining. However, if the economy ever gets back on its feet, that would be one recommendation. Also, I think a lot of special education teachers are starting to feel very overwhelmed. I think there's a need to be restructured in special education. Part of that would include splitting the state up, as I mentioned above, but also we've been discussing ideas among our team on how that could be done, basically just redistributing roles and dividing them up into special education teacher roles and instructional supervisor roles. Right now we're doing both. So those are the trends that I wanted to discuss. I hope you learned something from that. Thank you.